Hi there! My name is Timmy Joe. I make videos about computers on the internet, and this is not necessarily, well, it is. It's a tiny computer that fits in your pocket. It's the Galaxy S8 Plus. And I want to point you to this weird video where I'm an ugly man. And yes, that actually is the second most viewed video on this channel. I've dedicated this channel to computers and such, and there we go. One of my best viewed videos is about cell phones. So, nay, I will make another cell phone video as an experiment to see, would you guys like to see me review more smartphone stuff? More high-end smartphone stuff? More whatever smartphone stuff? I'll put a straw poll up here somewhere. But, S8. I made some egregious claims that the S7 Edge was a better buy than the S8 in that video, and I did not even have an S8 in my hands. So, was I correct? Was I right now that I have this beautiful chunk of screen in my hands? Well, cue an intro, and we're going to talk all about it. Yes, these are very similar phones, and we'll get to that in a second. But I have to do something. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Get that terrible mug off my screen. So, in that video, it wasn't an S7 review or an S7 Edge review, really. It was more of a top 5 reasons to get one over the other, and I, got a lot of flack on that video, but it actually received a lot of love. There's 124,000 views, and it steadily still gets views for some reason, and I wanted to get my hands on an S8. Got my hands on the best one you can get, the S8 Plus 60. Well, I mean, it might be a bigger version of it, but it's a 64 gig edition, and I've been using it for the better part of 3-4 days now. I have some very good opinions on it, and we'll just kind of go over all the points I made, and then I'll make a conclusion. So, yes, S8. Let's start at the top here. Micro USB. I made the argument that everyone has micro USB cables, and maybe they wouldn't want to make the switch over to USB-C. Now, that is a pretty weak point to begin with, but I will point to the contents of the S8 Plus's box, and they give you some rather nice earphones. They always kind of give you earphones with Samsung, but these are better than average. They give you the USB cable, of course, Type-C. They give you a charger, of course, fast charger, but they give you two little things that most, if not no, smartphone manufacturers give you. Number one, a USB-C to regular USB, which allows for the transfer of data between phones, which is very nice. You can plug your old phone into the S8 Plus, transfers all your apps, programs, blah blah blah. If you don't know how to do that, it's very simple to switch the things over. It's not something I particularly use because I back up to Google and it does it all itself anyways. But then you can use this little dongle here to plug in USB accessories to your phone, which is pretty dang cool. Another thing they provide you though, which just makes my first point moot, is a USB-C to micro USB adapter, which makes it so if you bring this along, you could charge your phone pretty much with anything, which is just awesome. So hats off to Samsung. You ruined my first point. Way to go. Second reason why I thought the S7 Edge was better than the S8, well, fingerprint sensor location. Now, I use the fingerprint sensor on the S7 Edge with protest. I've used better, that's for sure. On the LG G6, it was right in the middle. Boop, you were in your phone. There is a lot of times where the positioning of me pulling my thumb over here to unlock the phone, it just doesn't get it. You also just can't place your thumb on there to have it unlock. You have to click the home button, then do it. Now, the fingerprint sensor location on this might not be great. You do smudge the camera a lot of the time using it. However, I found it to be much more effective than the iris scanning or the face recognition unlock option. And what's great about it is one click, well, one touch, and you're in. There's no press a button and then put your finger there. It's just, bam, you're in. So although the placement is silly and it really should be in the middle and it was an afterthought, you can tell, it's better than the location on the S7 Edge. So point 2 is totally moot. I'm not doing very well here, am I? My third reason for buying the S7 Edge over the S8 or S8 Plus was the battery life. I proclaimed that the battery is bigger in here, has a smaller screen, therefore the battery life would be better. And having used this phone for a while, I have to say it has some of the best battery life I've ever had on a smartphone, on an Android phone, bar none. It's a 3500 milliamp or 30, I forget, I'll put it up on the screen. But regardless of the size of it, I always have a 30% battery life left when I go to plug in at night, no matter pretty much what I've done. I think I've maybe forgot to charge my phone a few times and not even noticed till the end of the day the next day, which is pretty cool. Most of the time my wife's searching for a charger when she gets home from work, and I still have 45% battery life left. Does this match it though with the smaller battery and the bigger screen? No, it does not. But I will give kudos where kudos is due. Even with the battery fiascos, even with it definitely not being as good as the S7 Edge, it's pretty damn good. It'll get you through the day without worries. It's definitely not as bad as some other phones I've used, and I would say it's only a slight win for the S7 in this. So finally we get a win on item number 3 of 5. Next was, my argument was, these phones have extremely similar feature sets, and it's not worth paying the premium to get basically an Edge display, Bixby, which is just a joke, and very little upgrades over this. And I will remain that this is sort of pretty much true. I really think that the best of both worlds here would be the Note 7. Now, it's unfortunate that we can't buy that phone, and maybe if you're Marquise Brownlee or you live in Europe or something, you will be able to buy it in certain situations. But I think the Note 7 was the perfect marriage of very, very tiny bezels with an Edge display and a very much bigger display, and it's too bad that I can't have my hands on one, because I miss my S6 Edge Plus's screen. It was bigger, it was only 0.2 inches bigger, but it felt more substantial in my hand, and when I see a phone of that size, I pick it up and I miss it. I wish I had it. This does not satisfy that craving necessarily. It has a very cool screen, but it's not for everyone. The problem is the aspect ratio is weird, and that doesn't help with apps or media consumption, in my opinion. In fact, I'm throwing B-roll up here of them side by side, and a YouTube video is near identically sized when you do not stretch the video on the S8 Plus. So it's pretty much not even worth having this bigger screen. I wish they would have maintained the 16:9 aspect ratio and still had, a very, very big screen with small bezels. But that's just something that I think. Maybe you think differently. Maybe you love the screen aspect ratio on this, but I'm not sold on this being a thing. This is weird. Other features of it though. Camera, near identical. Let's look at some image samples while I babble. I did not really feel the camera user experience was any different at all between both of these. In fact, it's very, very similar to my S6 Edge Plus. I'd say that the camera on the S7 is just a tad bit better than the S6 Edge Plus, but not by much. And the S8 really, I really had a hard time figuring, if you put these images side by side, I could not tell you which one was which. They're very, very much identical. The speaker is the same loudness. They're both waterproof. They both have edge panels. One's better, I guess, if you like that type of thing. They both have micro SD card support. So very, very similar experiences. This one just has a weird different screen, as I've been saying all along. So I will give that win. Well, there's no win here. They're both the same phone, and if you like the Samsung's experience, you're gonna like it. So I guess 0.4 is also sort of moot. Moving on to the expense of it all. Okay, that's the last point I had. It's not worth paying the premium for this new S8 for its limited upgrade of features when you can get this for cheaper? Well, that all depends on where you live. In the States, it is $7 more a month for an 18-month long term to lease this phone, or however you guys do it with Sprint. So $7 a month if you're already paying $30-something a month above and beyond your cell phone bill, and it was an extra $7. Are you really going to notice it? Probably not. So if I lived in the States, I'd probably go with this every time. But I live in Canada, where we still pay an upfront price for smartphones, and then we're locked into a 2-year commitment with no, per month fee for the phone. This is $0. You can, if you have no contract, walk in, get this for $0, walk out the door with pretty much, not having paid anything. Or if you want to walk in and get this, you're going to pay $199. You have to have that $200 in your pocket. If you want the smaller version of the S8, it's $99. So in conclusion, do I maintain the opinion I had in this terrible original video? Yes. Pretty much. Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. After using the phone, my point in that video was that it's probably not worth the premium you pay for this new device, because you get 99% of the experience on this device. But I'm at Watch Timmy Joe on Instagram and Twitter, and I want to thank North Bay Computer Doctors, a local cell phone screen repair, computer repair business, for lending me this phone for review. And you know what, check them out if you're around my area. And I thank very much for being a little sponsor of this channel. We'll talk more on that later, because there's some big things happening here on this channel. We're going to be getting a lot more stuff. If you want to see me review more phones and stuff, hit that straw poll. Let me know if you think it's stupid and I should only review computers. I'd like to know that too. You can also check me out on Twitter at WatchTimmyJoe and let me know there. But I remain that hoodie wearing, terrible yelling man behind me was right, and that this Galaxy S7 Edge is near the perfect Samsung smartphone, and it is totally worth buying over this if you don't have the extra $200. I will see you guys in the next video. I'm at Watch Timmy Joe. Thanks very much for watching.